conversation, which is quite limited. You can train a character in a game with a personality to start having a conversation with you. So even these chatbots that we're talking about, where you're writing text and getting a text response, soon that will be replaced with an avatar that might look like you or look like a specific persona, and it may have a voice. So as it understands who you are as a customer, you might have an avatar that matches you, so that has the best relationship, let's say. And of course, generative AI is creating a new form of creator, the AI creator. And the AI creators are very, very good at prompt engineering. So they know how to use various tools and get beautiful pieces of artwork from those tools, and start to actually create their own identity by fine-tuning these models. Most of these AI creators you'll find in Discord, which is where you'll find a lot of these applications like Midjourney, which creates images, Runway, which creates video, and so on and so forth. And they are good at using techniques like outpainting. So this is an example of taking an original image and understanding the wider context, which is created by generative AI. In painting, if you were to take out a couple of pixels, replacing those with, say, changing the color of people's eyes, or turning their scowl into a smile, those sorts of things. And then style transfer. We've already seen style transfer used for filters on Instagram, and now you can, say, film a whole film and then change it to a manga anime. So it'll completely revolutionize the way that we actually create films in the first place. So can anyone guess how many AI images have been created in 2023?
More than a billion.
10 trillion.
So how many? A billion? Maybe we should do like a little bet. Whoever gets closest can get our little rat poison. So
Yes.
a billion?
Billion one. Just
A billion and one? A couple, you said trillion?
Trillion.
Trillion? Any others?
No, 10 trillion.
Okay.
You're saying 10 trillion, I'll say 1 trillion. Okay.
Any other guesses for the rat poison? So it's actually 15 billion AI created images that have been created using Stable Diffusion, Adobe Firefly, Midjourney, and DALL-E 2. To put this into perspective, that's more than Shutterstock's entire library of photos, vectors, and illustrations. It's a third of the number of images ever uploaded onto Instagram. And it took photographers 150 years from the first photograph taken in 1826 until 1975 to create 15 billion images. So you can see that the internet is being flooded by these AI generated images, and there are 50 million users on Midjourney today. So it's a very profitable company, but it's slightly under the radar because it's on Discord and many people aren't on Discord. And it's now on the web, so now it's going to have even more users. So here are some, is an illustration
These all being stored.
on Facebook. So it definitely, it's costly in terms of storage. So The Hague, I'm not very good at pronouncing this, the Mauritshuis Museum recently loaned out its greatest treasure, the girl with the pearl earring, to a once-in-a-lifetime Johannes Vermeer exhibition. During that time, the Mauritshuis Museum put out an open call for artists to submit their versions of and substitutes of this painting. And of course we had normal artists apply, but then we also had this one piece which is created by AI, and it's called The Girl with the Glowing Earrings, created by the German AI artist Julian van Dijken, and it created a huge stir amongst the artist community, and some accused the museum of failing to uphold human cultural heritage. To make matters worse, Google then inserted this piece of art into history by listing the painting under Johannes Vermeer, who lived between 1632 and 1675. And so this goes to show that search engines will show content based on popularity rather than what's actually factual, and so the blurs now blurring the lines between real and synthetic art, and so it's going to be very difficult for our children to to live in this new world of so much synthetic content. One way that we can alleviate this is through, let me just refresh the page. I'll skip that. So should we be able to copyright an AI piece of artwork and media, in your opinion? Anyone? Do you think you can own this, and if it's been trained on so many other people's artwork and images?
If it was a unique piece of artwork, sure.
If it's unique. Everyone's got a different opinion. What do you think?
Looking at it from the other way around, if you're making a movie, the sales agents currently, as far as I know, require that you be able to say that you own the copyright, and as far as I know at the moment you can't say that. So given that we've already got film festivals of AI movies coming, it's going to be a really live question. At some point, presumably sales agents are either going to have to relent, or there's going to have to be some possibility of saying there is copyright. And the lawyers, I don't know if they still have any lawyers. I think it's being very hotly debated at the moment.
Absolutely. So in terms of the US copyright law, their current legal stance is that AI-generated works have to emphasize the human creativity angle. So when you apply for copyright, you can only use the human creativity rather than the AI side of things. So human authorship is important, and it's going to be determined on a case-by-case basis. But having seen how many AI images are created, we're going to have a backlog of requests. And I've been talking about AI artists. Imagine all of the brands that are out there that have huge libraries of image and film, say Disney or any IP that licenses out its content. It can now train an AI to allow its licensors to access their content. But they will want to protect every single image that gets created. So we're in a bit of a deadlock, but we really do need technologists and lawyers to start collaborating together to solve this issue. So here's quite a fun one. So this would be a derivative piece of art from Harry Potter, but we've also got Balenciaga mentioned.
You're Balenciaga, Harry.
And then here are some derivative AI products created through basically fake brand collaborations between various different brands. Do you think that this is a new form of counterfeit good? Could you commercialize this? Any opinions?
Say no, it's
The sound's working now. It's not working. Okay, so there's definitely a case for a new form of intellectual property, generative IP, which not only looks at the synthetic media that gets created, but the model and also all of the training data. This will then allow for data contributors to get royalties for contributing their data. So if you're an artist, if you are a photographer, you can willingly offer your content rather than it being scraped from the internet, from Pinterest, and actually start to earn revenue from contributing your authentic content. And this could work with a digital asset management system where as you add your content and you tag it, then it goes towards training a model. This will then allow brands to commission artists to create artwork, and it will become evident who owns the copyright in these scenarios. So this is a real campaign that Coca-Cola launched, where it worked with OpenAI to train a model with all of its assets, and then it gave it this model it was openly available to a select group of digital creatives who could create a campaign that was then voted upon and shown in Times Square. So there's a very good example, and clearly this was a success, as early in December, Coca-Cola appointed a global head of generative AI, Patrick Thacker, who has since launched Coke Studio, which is basically available on site at a variety of festivals and allows consumers to create a song, an album cover, and a music video by answering a series of questions. Another opportunity that will be unlocked by creating a new form of IP, generative IP, is allowing artists to train a model and license out their style. So this is an example of Yaya Kusuma's style being used to create products and even interior design of a concept store. So in terms of patent eligibility, who thinks that AI creating a patent should be, who do you think owns the patent if AI creates an invention? So essentially, while in some jurisdictions like South Africa and Australia, there are movements towards recognizing AI systems as inventors for the purpose of patent applications, many other jurisdictions such as the United States and European Union maintain that inventors must be humans, and that there is a man who actually created an AI system in order to create new inventions, and that was called Darbus. And Darbus is responsible for creating a new type of beverage container and a device for attracting enhanced attraction. And it is now listed as a patent. And because he created the AI system, he owns that patent. And of course, since ChatGPT has been trained on so many copyrighted information and Google's patents, it stands to reason that companies will build LLMs for the sole purpose of creating these new inventions. And the last question for today is, can AI think creatively or innovatively? Any thoughts on this?
Yes.
This is a philosophical question. At present, AI isn't conscious. It's not conscious of itself. And so we haven't reached AGI, but once we do reach AGI, what rights are we going to give it? Are we going to allow it to register its own IP and monetize it? So thank you very much for joining us today. It was great to have you. And I know that was a long presentation, but now we can all have a nice lunch and perhaps even a drink.